You are listening to Talksport's coverage of Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspur from the Vitality Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Tottenham Hotspur midfielder, fresh from his sun lounger, Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. You do look great, mate. Bournemouth's new boss, Andoni Iraola, knows his side can't take too much time in adapting to his methods, or they'll be back in a season-long relegation battle before he's even found his parking space. An opening day comeback point against West Ham United gave some sign of the high-intensity play the former Rayo Vallecano boss wants, as did an opening 10-minute salvo against Liverpool. Putting a performance together for 90 minutes, or these days 100, is now the challenge. Last weekend's victory over Manchester United at home was undoubtedly impressive from Tottenham, and it also brought something sorely lacking at Spurs for some time: entertainment value. Manager Ange Postecoglou has already won over fans with his attitude and enthusiasm. Where the loss of Harry Kane could have been catastrophic, the Australian has created a sense of hope from hopelessness. A win today, and there'll be no more talk of Tottenham in crisis for a week or so at least. Team news: one change for Bournemouth from the game against Liverpool. Senesi drops out, Lloyd Kelly comes in. So Neto in goal, back four left to right of Milo Kerkez, Ilya Zabani, Lloyd Kelly and Max Aarons. Midfield is Ryan Christie, Joe Rothwell and Philip Billing. On the left, Antoine Semenyo. The right, Justin Kluivert. Dominic Solanke is the striker. No Tyler Adams today, by the way, in the squad. He is still injured, as is Alex Scott, the other central midfield signing. Bench is Andre Radu, the goalkeeper, Lewis Cook, Chris Mepham, David Brooks, Kiefer Moore, Hamid Traore, James Hill, Marcos Senesi and Jadon Anthony. As for Spurs, brilliant last week, weren't they, against Manchester United? Same team. So Vicario in goal, back four of Destiny Udogie, Mickey van de Ven, Christian Romero and Pedro Porro. Midfield, the star of the show, Pape Sarr with Yves Bissouma. Three behind the striker, Dejan Kulusevski, James Maddison and Son Heung-min. Richarlison is the centre-forward these days. On the bench, Fraser Forster, Ollie Skipp, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Davinson Sanchez, Emerson Royale, Ivan Perisic, Giovanni Lo Celso, Manon Solomon and Ben Davies. So a few options for Postecoglou today from the bench, certainly in attacking positions. Tim Robinson is our referee, Jeff Eltringham is our fourth official, and John Brooks today performing the role of the dreaded VAR. Hopefully him and the referee aren't big mates. Let's get to it, shall we? 20 seconds in. It's Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspur. Bournemouth with black and red striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. They kick from right to left as we are looking in this first period. Tottenham Hotspur in their home strip, away from home. It's all white, shirts, shorts and socks with navy lettering, numbering and trim on the kit. Kevin Watson alongside me. It's heavily raining. We've got two teams who love to get forward and score goals. I think we could enjoy this.
I think we could. We were just talking off air, weren't we? Both teams.
Oh, Bournemouth here have won it in the Spurs area. Bissouma nearly caught for a second. It's cleared away by Vicario. Bournemouth will win it again in Spurs territory. Here's Philip Billing. Shot comes in from Christie. Breaks to Billing again in the area. Takes on Van den Ven. And to accentuate our point already, it's a corner for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I'm all for playing out from the back and nice football, but I'm not sure what Spurs were doing there. Bournemouth pressed in numbers, hunted them really hard to pitch in their own box, and they could have been masters of their own downfall there, Spurs.
And it's a corner kick early doors here for Bournemouth. The Fighting Cherries on the attacking right-hand side, which Christie is over. His arm goes up, cross comes in towards the near post. It's away by a couple of Spurs players there. I think it was Richarlison who got the final header, but Bournemouth will come again. Over on that far side, Rothwell dummies to cross, then drives through two. Tries to beat the third in Porro, who's still over on the far side, out of position. Porro gets the challenge in, and it's out for a throw-in. We're getting the thriller that you were just describing, we were hoping for.
Yeah, we've only had 2 minutes, Tom, but it's been a really bright start from the Cherries. Tottenham no foothold in the game as yet, but we are very early on, but it's been a bright start from the home team.
Yeah, the question comes now for Bournemouth, are they able to score a goal during this time of being on top? Christian Romero puts his first trademark tackle in of the day. Clears all the way upfield with a powerful challenge, and it's knocked back to Neto in goal, the 34-year-old now captain of Bournemouth. One in midfield by Son, air shot from him, break back to him again, then Maddison, then Son's in the area here, left hand side, cuts it back. Kelly will clear from the 6-yard box.
Well, snapshot of what James Maddison's all about there. Found himself in that little number 10 role. Son got lucky, but it's a lovely little 1-2, dances into the box. He just goes a little bit wide and he can't get his shot off and he has to square it. Bright from Spurs there.
Just a bit of composure there from Maddison when Spurs needed it. Exactly what he's been brought in for. Another pass from him here to Richarlison. It's a run on the left shoulder here being made by Sarr, but he won't get on the end of that. It's through to Neto in goal. Very good stuff so far from an entertainment perspective. If the defensive coaches are on the bench, they might be pulling their hair out already. Long ball here to Solanke from Bournemouth, picked up by the corner flag right hand side. Romero is with him. Of course he tries to kick him. That's a good driving run being made here over on that far side. Ball slipped into the path of Solanke again there, but it's just slightly overhit. The through ball from Kluivert, and it's picked up again over on the far side by Semenyo, then Aarons, then Rothwell driving forward. Sliding challenge from the former Brighton player Yves Bissouma, and it's out of play for a throw-in over on the right-hand side. You've got some players in Semenyo, in Kluivert, in Billing that like to carry the ball at the opposition, something we saw Raheem Sterling do to such great effect in the game last night between Chelsea and Luton. Here's Christie, corner of the area, beaten to it by Bissouma, and Maddison can bring Tottenham away. Here's Richarlison on the halfway line. Strong challenge, good challenge, clean challenge from Philip Billing. A chance now for Semenyo to turn. Centre circle, right of it is Rothwell, seeing plenty of the ball in this opening few minutes here. Cross comes in, Solanke is there. Romero has just run into Solanke's back there. Solanke goes to ground, Vicario comes out to gather. I'm not sure that's great defending.
Well, that's Romero all over, isn't it? He's a good defender, but he can be incredibly reckless at times.
It does feel like, I always say this of Romero, and like you, I do like him, but he's very much kick first and ask questions later.
He can be a liability. I'm not sure what Maddison's doing here.
He's in his own penalty area with Rothwell with him, and he's turning left and right and left, trying to find a way out. It's good pressing there from Rothwell. Big scream there over on the far side from Udogie, the fullback for Spurs, and that's going to be a free kick which goes his way. That's Semenyo getting a talking to here from the referee. I'm not sure it was that bad. Seeing a replay on it now. Maybe a little scrape of the stud. I'm not sure that's intentional on Udogie, the young Italian left back, brought in from Udinese during the summer. Sore though, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's one of those that looks worse on the replay. As that happens in real time, it's just a little bit late. It's not intentional. Always looks worse on a replay.
Good free kick for Spurs to win there as well. They were under some pressure. As they are here, they play the ball short. Once again, though, a Spurs player goes down. This time, it's Pepe Sarr who hits the deck. And it's a free kick for Spurs again, deep in their own half. Another foul this time. Bissouma goes down. Challenge from Christie. They play on this time. Christie will foul again here if he can, I'm sure. Bissouma's done really well to turn away from his challenge. They're still inside their own half here, Tottenham. Porro's doing the old inverted fullback thing here in the centre circle, and finds a pass back to his central defensive pairing, Mickey van de Ven. Christian Romero. Here's Sarr in the central position. He was so dominant in last week against Manchester United. Maddison tries a through ball to Richarlison. That's going to be cleared away well by Zabani on the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. Spurs throw left hand side. Yeah, Porro's
going to stand in that central midfield area, trying to get an overload in there, and it worked that time. Maddison always looking to probe when he has the ball, always looking to play forward.
A foul here on the halfway line. It's a Bournemouth throw in. Kev, what's your thought on what are your thoughts on the whole inverted fullback phenomenon that, Guardiola was doing maybe 3 years ago? They're all doing it now. Yeah, well, if you've got players that can go in there and are comfortable with the ball, the rest of your teammates obviously have to be comfortable with the ball, because if you lose it and you're right back or your left back standing in the centre of the pitch, there's a hell of a space down the side to exploit if you win the ball back. But fair play to Tottenham, fair play to Manchester City for doing it. If you're comfortable on the ball and you get an overload in the midfield area,
is certainly something you can exploit.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see it with Arsenal later today against Fulham. You'll see it with one or two others as well that are looking into it. Trent Alexander-Arnold, another obvious example who is doing it. Here are Spurs trying to drive forward here, but that's a loose pass from Pape Sarr, who just took his eye off where Richarlison was standing there for a moment. Here's Max Aarons, long-time servant at Norwich City, getting back to the Premier League now with Bournemouth. Crossfield ball from him, overhit, but really brilliantly dealt with by Kerkez here, who was part of the losing team in the Conference League semi-final last year against West Ham. Pablo Fornal's late goal, bring the Hammers through to the final in a competition they won. Did I mention that? But Kerkez looked a good player that day, and he got his Premier League move, not just off the back of that, but looked good. Here's Maddison. That's a foul on the halfway line on him. Another one. Getting a little bit up there now with Bournemouth, the amount of times they've knocked a Spurs player down.
They've certainly come out in an aggressive fashion, haven't they? They don't want Tottenham on the ball for any length of time, and they're trying to stop them at source, as it were. And they are being very aggressive in their approach.
Driving run here by Bissouma finds James Maddison towards the edge of the penalty area, but he's challenged on his way through there by the retreating Kluivert. Spurs have it back there with Richarlison. Kulusevski in the area. Kulusevski shuffles right, shuffles left, finds Porro. Back to Kulusevski. In now to Bissouma. Bissouma will find Maddison. Drop of the shoulder. Turning shot. Didn't really get much meat on it. And Max Aarons will, at the second attempt, clear it away.
They got a touch of the Arsenals there, Spurs, didn't they? They're trying to walk the ball into the net. Thought on a couple of occasions there, Kulusevski could have shot, Bissouma could have shot. Is that bounced up off his hand there?
Yeah, we are just getting a little break here while this is checked for handball. That check is now over, so it wasn't a lengthy one. It's been quickly dismissed. Hit Max Aarons on the arm, but I don't know. I don't want to trigger any Tottenham fans by talking about what handball is after last week, so we'll just leave the whole thing. Brilliant run over on the left-hand side here, driving run by Udogie, and he's got to the end line and crossed. That's blocked by Philip Billing. He's got Philip on the back of his shirt this year. He goes out for a corner kick on the far side. 10 minutes gone, 0-0, Bournemouth Tottenham, Premier League Live.
Very good that from Udogie, wasn't it? Really aggressive in his run into the Bournemouth box, getting his team a corner.
Traditional full-back play in the era of the inverted full-back. Here's Maddison, right-footed delivery. Flick at the near post is cleared away. Recovered by Son as he runs away from the penalty area, being chased down by Kluivert over the top from Tottenham. No one, though, is running goal side of the Bournemouth defence, and that's straight through to Vicario in goal for... Neto in goal for Bournemouth. Goes long up towards the other end where it was going through to Vicario, but it's intercepted by Romero, who's now on the deck, having collided with Dominic Solanke. I don't think there's a foul here, but of course Christian Romero had that concussion issue, but because it wasn't a concussion substitute officially, that's why he was able to play the next game, because he was just taken off. Have your own interpretation of that. I don't think that's the problem here. It's almost like his shoulders kind of got trapped behind him as he's fallen down. Yeah,
it's an awkward fall, isn't it? That is a real awkward fall. Back, shoulder. He's a strong boy, though, isn't he? I'm not sure he's going to be complaining for too long, and he's up already.
Well, he might get up. I'm sure he'll be complaining for some time, but someone will get a kick in revenge for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, even though it was his own doing.
We're back, 12 minutes gone. Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0 on Premier League Live. Kevin Watson, Tom Rennie with you. Been pretty end-to-end so far. Goalkeeper's not called into action, but certainly some thrilling stuff to this point in terms of intensity of the game. The rain has just started to hold off as well. It poured down heavily for the opening 8-9 minutes of the match, and certainly pre-game as well, which added maybe to the sense of chaos in those opening minutes. This good play from Bournemouth here up through the thirds, and they're over on the left-hand side here with Kluivert, who's driving forward. Kerkez ahead of him. Here he is now, left-hand side, trying a return ball to Kluivert off a Spurs leg, and that's some classic wingman full-back play there from Kluivert and Kerkez. It's a corner kick to Bournemouth.
Yeah, really good from the Cherries there. Started with Max Aarons on the right-hand side. Got it out to the left back, and really good quick break.
It's going to be a corner kick over on this left-hand side, which Kluivert will take. Right-footed, fired in. It's away at the near post by Van de Ven. Turned forward again by Aarons over on the far side. Is Kluivert back on side? Yes, he is. Brings it down well. Here's Christie. And then back to Kerkez. Lloyd Kelly, who was captain of Bournemouth as they were promoted from the Championship. The armband is now with the goalkeeper Neto. Missed a fair amount of the season last season, Kelly. Neto with a wealth of experience across European football, so maybe that is why that decision was made. Bournemouth give the ball away here. Spurs have it midway inside their own half. Another foul from Bournemouth. This time it's Philip Billing on James Maddison, and I don't know, I say this a lot when I talk about the big teams, and I'm sure listeners will be frustrated with me if I don't say it here with Bournemouth as well. That many fouls, at some point you've got to start yellow carding people. You can't do 5, 6, 7 fouls before you get punished.
You can't, and they're all niggly little ones. James Maddison, he seems to be copping the brunt of it at the moment. He's happy to receive the ball in tight areas, and Bournemouth just don't want him getting his head up and releasing those boys in front of him, because that would spell danger. But they are being really aggressive in their approach to the game, the Cherries.
As was the billing, really, for Andoni Iraola. That's what the Rayo Vallecano team did. Well, Neto's given this away really poorly here, and Spurs could be in with Son to Maddison, really good save. Richarlison can't turn the rebound home. It's a looping header on the fall. Neto gathers on the goal line, then apologises to all at the Vitality.
I just think teams get carried away with playing out. That's loose from Neto. Son drives, lovely little ball. Maddison, his first touch is really good, but the defender Aarons does incredibly well to get back there, and that is a goal-saving tackle in my opinion. He just gets enough on it to put Maddison off. A big chance for Spurs.
Yeah, just on one of the replays there, I think the meat of Aaron's boot is so firmly on the ball, that may have been an own goal had it gone in. Spurs coming forward again here though with Son. Cross on the left side line, deep ball, nowhere near Richarlison, cleared away on this near side by Kerkez. Throw in for Spurs, which Porro will take on the right sideline, about 20 yards from the corner flag. 15 minutes gone here on the south coast. Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspur, 0-0. Van de Ven being forced out to the far side by some really hard work by Ryan Christie. Has to go all the way back to Vicario in goal. Now Romero has it on the right-hand side of the Spurs defensive pair. Sarr drops in to take it off his toes, and it's out left now to Van de Ven. Once again an attempted foul there from Rothwell. Getting away with it here as the driving run continues from Udogie. Eventually though, Joe Rothwell's tenacity is rewarded with the ball, and Bournemouth can now break. They go long, diagonal towards Kluivert. Porro down. Smart header. Spurs now has some space to drive through midfield on the right-hand side with Sarr. Sarr will find Kulusevski, slightly overhit, sideline, right-hand side. Chops in field, really good play. Well tracked by Kerkez, who puts a characteristic challenge in based on Bournemouth's performance today. Here's Bissouma now, turns away from Christie. Now 35 yards from goal, centre of the field, approaching the offensive third. Sarr holds it up and goes back to Romero. Spurs maybe just noticing here, they've got to up their intensity. Well, they are going to get past Bournemouth today. Bissouma finds Sarr, Sarr finds Maddison, and Maddison finds the back of the net. That was sumptuous play from Spurs, and they lead on the south coast. Classic Postecoglou, well, some would say.
Yeah, that's a fantastic goal, isn't it? Really, really well worked. I was just about to say that Tottenham are beginning to get a foothold in the game and beginning to exert some pressure in terms of how much they've had the ball, but that is a real quality goal. Patience in the build-up, good from Bissouma here in the centre of the pitch. This here is dynamic, that's brilliant play. Infield to Sarr, that is a brilliant pass. And Maddison, well, first time, all he does is help the ball on its way. This ball from Sarr is wonderful. The run was brilliant, superbly timed, and that is a terrific Tottenham goal.
And it's the first Tottenham goal for James Maddison. I'm sure not the last as well. And with James Maddison, Kev, you know, we talk about his assists, we talk about his creativity and all that. But you look at his career as well, top scorer for Leicester in the 21-22 season with 18 in all competitions. There was a season for Norwich where he was their top scorer as well. You know, we thought he might be coming here to set up Kane, and now Richarlison. He's also come here to score a few goals as well.
He's got wonderful ability. I have to say, though, that pass from Sarr has just took about 4 Bournemouth defenders out. Brilliant run from Maddison, and all he does is just help the ball on its way past Neto. It really is a brilliant goal.
Around about 1 in 4 his goal ratio
that's a real good return. Yeah, real good return for a mid. All right, he's an attacking midfielder, but you'd like to do that every season, wouldn't you? That's a real good return.
Well, that is a terrific goal, a really, really terrific goal, and this has not been easy for Tottenham to this point. Bournemouth trying to strike back immediately. Here's Kluivert over on the left-hand side. Cross comes in. It's away, more up than away. Will break here to Semenyo. Will it break to Solanke? No, it won't. It was bouncing around the penalty area. Recovered left-hand side. Kerkez, good ball. It's away by Van de Ven. Richarlison's chest trying to release Kulusevski. Out of play for a throw, which Kelly's already taken. Into Kerkez. Challenge Kulusevski. Just kept on by Porro, nearly a corner. Finds a good ball into Sarr. Then Romero. Then Maddison. Lovely stuff. Tottenham Hotspur. Basuma has it. Just inside their own penalty area, right-hand side. Porro's clip. Richarlison's control. Very, very good from Tottenham. Up on the halfway line now.
Playing some good stuff, aren't they? They just started to exert a little bit of pressure, a little bit of dominance in terms of possession of the ball just before that goal. But they are playing some really silky stuff now.
Porro looks cross-field. Deflection on the pass. Takes it away from the run of Son Heung-min. Covered by Bournemouth, who at 20 minutes gone, they find themselves a goal down, though they've played pretty well. Let's see what they've got. Here's Maddison, beautiful turn, pass to Richarlison too, who was offside. We play on here as Bournemouth have the ball. First touch, just lovely to watch from James Maddison at times. Bournemouth on the halfway. Still to have their first shot in the match, Bournemouth, despite plenty of huff and puff to this point. Over on the right-hand side, a battle for the ball between Udogie and Semenyo. Sees the ball come off a Spurs leg last for a corner kick on the right-hand side to the Fighting Cherries, their second of the match.
Neither delivery from the corners they've had have been good enough at this moment in time.
See what Iraola has worked on. There are some teams you feel are always going to score from set pieces. I wonder if Bournemouth are in that category this season. You always felt they'd concede last year. Christie's deep ball. First header is won. Doesn't break to Kluivert. Now it does off Richarlison. But there is a handball in there from Justin Kluivert. And that is going to be a free kick to Tottenham in their own penalty area. Another not so great ball from Bournemouth.
Was ballooned in, wasn't it? Plenty of air on it.
There's a free kick to Tottenham inside their own penalty area, trying to put right a really poor away record across the back end of last season and the start of this as well. Just one victory in their last 11 in all competitions, 7 defeats in that time. Winning here, playing some really lovely stuff, all coming through this man Maddison, who scored the goal as well for Spurs. Forward to Son, intercepted by Aarons. They've done well to turn away from Son. They get a ball upfield too. That's off the head of Basuma. Solanke wasn't quite on the shoulder of Van de Ven, but he might rob him here. Van de Ven does well to find Vicario. Reverse pass to Van de Ven in the 6-yard box, which was risky but well executed. Maddison turns nicely away from his man Rothwell, gets it back, then slips in Son. Beautiful pass, perfectly weighted. Son's in the area, left-hand side, wants some help. Here it is now. Sarr is in. Shot was weak, and the save by Neto prevents Spurs taking a 2-goal lead.
That's brilliant again. Maddison to Son. You can see their relationship on the pitch is already blossoming for Spurs. It's unlucky, he just can't sort his feet out, but I've got to say that at this moment in time, Tottenham are playing some delicious football.
Another pass there from James Maddison, which was just beautiful to watch, and didn't Son just enjoy it? Space here for Sarr on the edge of the area. Kulusevski chops and shoots, that's well blocked. Breaks the Son on the other side. Has to turn away from the penalty area and finds a pass out to Udogie, then further back to centre half Mickey van der Ven. There he is again, van der Ven. Left to Udogie, drop of the shoulder, ball runs across him and then he's able to carry forward, then just completely miscontrols it and gives it to Aarons, who can turn away from James Maddison. Christie running in field with Richarlison with a sliding tackle. Alright, Christie has done really well to find a ball back to his goalkeeper Neto. Not a great response from Bournemouth to going a goal down.
No, not really, as yet. I think that's all down to the fact that Tottenham are starving them of possession of the ball. And they've really got to do something, Bournemouth, about James Maddison, in terms of as soon as Tottenham win the ball back, he's standing in acres of space, and you can't afford to let a player of his ability basically have the freedom of the pitch. They've got to be so aware when that ball turns over of where he is, and at this moment in time they're just not.
Bournemouth trying to play out the back there, back to Neto under a bit of pressure, gives it a wallop straight over the sideline around the halfway, so no danger from that, but a bit of a lack of composure there from one of their most experienced players, one of the most experienced players on the field, Neto. Spurs into Richarlison, then back to Romero. We're near 25 minutes gone here. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Maddison with his first Tottenham goal. This is Premier League Live. Tom Rennie and Kevin Watson with you. And don't forget, for a look back at the entire Premier League weekend, subscribe to the Talksport Daily podcast. A new episode first thing every morning. Chance here for Kulusevski here. Richarlison's flick, driving towards the penalty area. Kelly is with him. Sliding tackle goes in, which just about was pulled out of by Kirkes before Kulusevski had his cross blocked by the sliding defender. You could hear the oohs around the Vitality.
It was Chancey, wasn't it? Was Chancey. He's got away with it.
Corner kick Spurs on the right.
Some big gaps defensively in that Bournemouth rear guard at the moment, and you feel that another Spurs goal could be imminent, and not from there, James Maddison.
Yeah, I think he kind of did that on purpose there to the Bournemouth fans behind the goal. Took it out the quadrant, and now he will take this delivery from the right hand side. Maddison swung in nicely, it's away well by Kelly, breaks to Son, who sets himself up and volleys towards goal. Not a bad effort there from Son Heung-min, but off target in the end.
Wasn't a bad effort at all, was it? You can see what he wanted to do. Decent strike.
So many of Son's goals in the Premier League set up by Harry Kane. Did not have his finest campaign, just 8 goals in the Premier League, 14 all competitions last time. Still pretty decent to most people's standards, but it was a rough year for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He wasn't at the heights he was certainly the previous couple of seasons, but again, Harry Kane not there now. He's going to have to step up along with a few of the others, but to be honest, at this moment in time, the second half performance against Manchester United and this performance thus far, I've been suitably impressed.
Captain now of Tottenham Hotspur as well, Son Heung-min, having taken that job from Hugo Lloris, who is still a Tottenham player. Transfer window open for another week. Well, we'll see what happens. Contract runs out at the end of this season, Hugo Lloris. Look at the space here for Maddison, corner of the area, whipping ball in. It was too heavy for Richarlison, and Son hadn't made the run. It's out for a goalkeeper. Kevin Watson, to your point from a few moments ago, you've got to stop James Maddison.
He's got acres and acres to play, and the problem Bournemouth have at the minute, the front three are going pressing, but the midfield two are not going with them. So as soon as Spurs beat that press with a couple of passes, they are out, because the two in midfield are reluctant to go with the forwards when they're pressing.
Kirkes with a pass back to Zubanyi, then down the line to Christie. Lovely first touch, but his ball down the line is very heavy for Semenyo, who can't keep that in.
And Udogie certainly looks like he's got some pace about him as well, Tom. You're going to do well to beat him in a foot race, I think. It's
the Spurs fans you can hear in full voice in the away section here. It is incredible, really, when you consider Harry Kane just being sold. It's almost been a bit of a relief, hasn't it, for a lot of Tottenham fans to see him gone after years and years and years of speculation. Foul here by Semenyo on Bissouma. Free kick Spurs, left-hand side, about 20 yards away from their defensive left corner flag. What do you make to that? I mean, listen to those Spurs voices right now. They're 1-0 up away from home, but there's something in it, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I got a lot of Spurs supporting friends, and under Conte when they were winning, but it was winning in a horrible, nasty way of playing, in my opinion. I said, you'll soon turn when you start losing, because you can almost accept playing like this and not getting a result. But the way he was playing, I said, as soon as they start losing games, they are going to be on him, because it's dreadful. And I never ever understood how you can play the game like that.
You've got to win. If you play ugly, you've got to win.
It was just horrible. I mean, when you're watching at the start of games and Harry Kane was 10 yards outside his own box defending and stuff like that, it's just anti-football, I called it.
I wonder what Harry Kane might have achieved if he had an offensive manager at some point over the past 5 years. But anyway, we'll never know. And here's Kluivert driving cross-field for Bournemouth. Space over on the right-hand side for Philip Billing. Down the line to Semenyo in the penalty area. Lovely turn, takes a shot, deflected. Goes across the face of the penalty area as opposed to at goal. It spins away for a throw-in over on the left-hand side, which Kerkez is keen to get on with. But there was a break here in play. A Spurs player has remained down, having blocked it on the way through. I think it's Pape Sarr who's on the deck, and have just caught him in the face, that shot. Looks like his mouth's a bit red.
It was a good chance. It was a really good chance. I think that's where Bournemouth can get some joy this afternoon. Udogie and Porro, very, very offensive fullbacks. But I think sometimes they overcover their centre-halves. So Bournemouth can get space. If they can utilise it, can get down the sides of the pair of them.
That does give me a moment just to remind you we are not done today with this one game. Oh no, this is Premier League Live. We are jam-packed all Saturday. Our feature match up next sees Russell Hargreaves and Rufus Brevett in the seats for Arsenal against Fulham from Emirates Stadium. That's followed later by West Ham's annual thrashing at the hands of Brighton. Brighton against West Ham at the Amex with John Anderson and David Connolly. That's 5:30 UK time. That one kicks off. Also today available to our online and digital partners. Brentford against Crystal Palace with Matt Drabble. Ben Jacobs will bring you Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. And Andrew Self has Everton against Wolves, which arguably, as Selfie tweeted earlier today, is the most interesting game of the day when you consider Wolverhampton Wanderers, new management, thrashed last week at home against Brighton, should have beat Man United but didn't, so no points for them. And Everton, similar scenario, 2 defeats, dismal as well. And I mean, is it too early for a 6-pointer? Probably.
Well, is it? I mean, I think Everton, they flirted with the trapdoor last year, Tom, and from what I've seen this season, it's going to be another tough year for them.
Yeah, just basically imported Burnley to Goodison. It's not worked so far. We're back underway here with a long throw from Bournemouth, cleared away from Bissouma's head. Sarr remains off the field, by the way. You've got to stay off for 30 seconds before you come back on this season. So Spurs down to 10 for the moment, but the cross is poor from the far side for Bournemouth. Lloyd Kelly will find a release now left to Kerkez. Into the feet of Semenyo, then left to Kluivert, then down the line to Kerkez, trying to pick their way through that left-hand side. Cross towards Solanke. Good header by Van de Ven, and in fact Solanke was offside. Sarr is back on, and Spurs avoid any significant damage from that period being down to 10. You know, it's funny, Bournemouth, you know, they had some early attacking impetus against Liverpool, but didn't really look like scoring after that. Against West Ham here, you know, West Ham, they didn't sit off so much. I think could have won quite comfortably. It was a good time to play West Ham in many ways, and even the goal they scored, if not for a lucky little knock-off Souček, Solanke wouldn't have been in. Iraola's meant to be an attacking manager, Kevin Watson. We're not seeing many attacking patterns of play.
No,
so
we're not at the moment. They do look a little bit disjointed, and that's when they have the ball, and most certainly when they don't have it. They're hunting. Look, that's the middle of the pitch is now empty because 4 of them have gone chasing, and the midfield 2 have not gone with them. And Tottenham are finding it too easy to get out.
Well, they're in the offensive third here already. Tottenham on the right-hand side. Kulusevski into Porro, right to the Swede Dejan Kulusevski. Porro in the inverted fullback role brings Spurs infield by design, and out left to James Maddison. Maddison into Porro. Porro back to Maddison, and Maddison will find Bissouma in the centre circle. Driving run by Bissouma. He goes down. No foul from Kluivert. Bournemouth want to counter, but Rothwell's ball to Christie was a bit overhit. He's done well to turn away from Maddison. Christie and find a pass back towards Aarons. No counter-attack, but they are on the ball once again, Bournemouth. Worth noting, Ryan Christie has played for Ange Postecoglou in his time at Celtic, 9 or so games before his move away from the perennial Scottish champions. Full of praise for him this week as Bournemouth go crossfield to Aarons. Surely being held there by Udogie for absolutely no reason. That's a free kick over on the right-hand side to Bournemouth, which has caused a head shake from Kevin Watson.
Well, Postecoglou will be furious if this leads to anything with Udogie. He's facing the touchline, he's got nowhere to go, and he's committed a needless foul, absolutely needless, and it just came because he was over covering his 2 centre-halves again. Big diagonal ball, no need to foul, and if this ball comes in with quality, it's a real chance for Bournemouth.
Seen a great deal of quality to this point from the Cherries. It's Rothwell and Christie over on the right-hand side. We're at 35 minutes played. It's 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Maddison with it. Cross comes in, deep delivery, chance for Billing, who's won it, heads it down, heads it on target, but heads it straight to goalkeeper Vicario.
Again, not much pace on that cross. Ballooned. Billing, yeah, he gets a header, but he was going to always have to create his own power on it, and it was, in the end, no problem for the Tottenham goalkeeper, but came about from a needless free kick.
First save by the new Tottenham Hotspur number 1, Guglielmo Vicario, brought in from Empoli this summer. Around about 20 million euros, reports vary. Doesn't matter too much after the long tenure of Hugo Lloris as the number 1 goalkeeper at Spurs. Oh, that's a poor challenge there from Pape Sarr, not just because he's really landed one on Milo Kerkez, but also if he'd have timed it better and got it right, Spurs could have had a 2-on-1.
Yeah, they were.
It's around about the halfway, by the way, but Bournemouth had sent people forward.
Yeah. It was just his momentum took him into Kerkez there, but they would have been away, as you rightly say.
Kelly bars the ball upfield. Solanke jumps to ground. No free kick. That's a bit strong there from Christie. No foul given. And here is Solanke. Chance on the far side for Semenyo. Got a bit of a muddle here. Bournemouth still trying to find a shooting position. Romero goes to ground. Classic tackle from him. Take man and ball. A lot of ball, says the referee, and so Spurs can counter. Maddison, Richarlison. Richarlison's in. He's beaten the defender. He's beaten the goalkeeper, but he can't score. And Bournemouth get it away. Ricky from Rio simply could knock snow off a rope at Spurs, could he?
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure what he's trying to do. This was a brilliant tackle. That is
Romero on Semenyo.
I think that's a good tackle. They may argue that he's gone through his leg to get the ball. Watch this pass from Maddison. Just shoot. Why is he chopping back inside?
So he tries to chop as Lloyd Kelly is diving in when he could have got the shot away. It then breaks to him but kind of hits his heel as he loses the ball. And then at the next attempt, he misses the ball in the air as Rothwell gets a challenge in and Kerkez clears it. There's 3 chances to score and he misses every single one of them.
He's just got to roll that in with his right foot. The pace was on the brilliant pass from Maddison. Why he's chopping back inside, I do not know. And then he's tried to chop it past the keeper and then a swing and a miss with his left foot.
Ange Postecoglou there was shouting for handball somewhere in there. I got to say I didn't see that.
I think as the defender slid when he chopped inside, it rolled on and did touch his hand, but you're not going to get a penalty for that.
Oh, Richarlison. I mean, just a man who just needs a goal. I think he's very good. I do genuinely think he's a very, very good player. I think he's one shy of 50 goals in his Premier League career, combination of Everton, Watford and and Tottenham, but just the one goal for Spurs in the game against Liverpool in the Premier League, a couple in the Champions League. Scored arguably the best goal of the World Cup for Brazil, that bicycle kick.
Are they looking at this, or...?
I have no note from VAR that's being looked at beyond a quick dismissal. So it's a player injured right now, which is why we are just delaying. But a quick word on Richarlison. I mean, why is it not happening for him? I think he's really good.
Yeah, I think the jury's always been out for me, and I think a lot of that is to do with how he comes across on a pitch. Looks like he's always got the ump, and the world's against him. That. Yeah, I'm not sure he's the answer. I'm really not sure he's the answer.
Brazil was number 9, not good enough for Tottenham.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, funny old world, funny old game. We're back underway. Good header from Billing, and he finds Kluivert, who can drive forward from the left-hand side, drops the shoulder, gets into trouble. Ludoki with a weird challenge. Foot went a bit too high, but he has won it back for Spurs. Bissouma into Son in the centre circle. Bissouma driving forward, space ahead of him, edge of the area, out left of the danger man Maddison, on towards Son, looks to nutmeg Zubani, can't do so, and Max Aarons, former Norwich teammate of Maddison, can look to bring the ball away. Poor from Aarons, Maddison wins it back, then he brings him down, and James Maddison saying I was in there, and I think he's absolutely right.
He was. Aarons trying to be too clever should I say, and that is... Well, he's reluctant to get his cards out at the moment, isn't he, Tim Robinson? For me, that's a bookable offence.
Yeah, I've got to say I agree. No yellow card was forthcoming for Max Aarons, brought in from Norwich City. Could be around £12 million. He spent how many years? 8-9 years there. A couple of relegations with them. It was once a hot young talent in English football. Still young, but not sure how hot. 40 minutes played, Bournemouth 0, Tottenham 1. Premier League Live, Tom Rennie and Kevin Watson with you. Free kick to Spurs, which is basically a corner over on the left-hand side. Maddison's delivery towards the back post, where Richarlison has missed another one. He's a couple of yards out, the angle is tight, but he's got to find the back of the net there, and he hasn't. It's a free header, Kev.
It's a free header at the back post, isn't it? He gets clear of his man. Yeah, just nod that in the goal. Just nod it in the goal. He's hit the side netting. That's a big chance.
Pop it in, Richarlison. Just pop it in. How much does he need it? I wonder the player we're going to see as and when he does score a goal. Kluivert battling with Porro here from the long ball. Brilliant play from Kluivert. Reverse pass towards Billing. Maybe a touch too clever. Billing can't get it. Porro and Sarr and Bissouma are able to win it, and that's an incredible touch from Bissouma to take it away from the press of Christie. Foul by Semenyo. No, he wasn't. And now Christie has it, driving towards the offensive third. Carries it left, shoots as well. Brilliant save by Vicario. Snapped at it. I wasn't ready for it. Goalkeeper was.
Good save, good strike, good save. But after that wonderful turn from Bissouma, he's just had too many touches. Just release the ball. Sometimes he does that. Very comfortable in possession.
Vicario nearly caught. Sorry, Kev, carry on.
He is very comfortable in possession, but sometimes just you've had an amazing turn, then just release the ball. It wasn't a foul, and it put Tottenham on the back foot.
This game still screams more goals, doesn't it?
It does.
I cannot believe it's going to finish 1-0 to Tottenham as it is now on 41 minutes.
Well, I'm just wondering if those missed chances, Richarlison could come back to bite Tottenham on the backside, because they've been really dominant. They've been excellent with the ball. But it's only 1-0 still.
It is only 1-0. Game in the balance. Bournemouth on the ball. Aarons halfway line will find a pass back to Kelly. Midway inside his own half, no player with him. Rothwell busy in the game. Down the line here to Semenyo. Van der Ven goes to ground, clears out man and ball. Throw in on the far side. One of those tackles centre halves always love.
Well, finally Tottenham have got two no-nonsense centre halves.
Still here, Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah, he is.
Bournemouth from the throw-in will work it out to the left-hand side. Cross comes in from Kirkez, who's been pretty good, I think. The new boy from AZ Alkmaar. Another corner kick to the Fighting Cherries. Looks pretty decent.
Yeah, he does. does. Very good going forward. That's for sure.
And a really good game, I think, in the Conference League semis against West Ham. Certainly second leg that they went on to win the Hammers with that late Fornals goal, but had a tough old task in 2 legs against Jarrod Bowen, as he did here on the opening day against West Ham as well. Bowen won that day. Rothwell's ball in, 4 Spurs players at the near post, and that's where the ball goes.
Yeah, just missed that first man. Bugbear of mine, that.
Kelly recovers it, Christie carries it infield. Kirkes in some space, left-hand side. Down the line to Rothwell, and then back towards almost the centre circle, and Zabarnyi, diagonal, flicked on towards Billing, but Vicario comes off his line to gather the bouncing ball. Just a bit toothless, aren't they, Bournemouth?
Yeah, just a little bit predictable at the moment. Like I say, when the front players go chasing, the midfield have to be with them, because if they're not, there just ends up a big gap in the centre of the pitch.
Handball given there for Clivert, intercepting Porro's chip forward. Some fans didn't like it, you can see why. Free kick to Tottenham, just outside their own penalty area. I should mention, I haven't mentioned, I know John Anderson's very good at this. At Talksport Live is where you can get in touch with your commentary team today. Let us know where in the world you are listening, and indeed your thoughts on the game. Shane has done so. Good day, mates. Oh, where are you from, Shane? He says, great to see Ange doing so well in the Premier League. An Aussie Spurs fan. Perfect boss for you. Our friend Bruce, the Nottingham Forest fan, enjoying the action as well out in the USA. Keep your tweets coming in. At Talksport Live, or whatever they're called now. X's, I don't know. We're at 45 minutes. Here's Kulusevski on the end line for Spurs on the right-hand side. Once again, they work the ball well through the thirds. Strong play, Kulusevski. Holds off Clivert. Back to Porro. And now Romero on the right-hand side. About 10 over the halfway has it for Spurs. Bissouma into Maddison. Beautiful turn by James Maddison away from Billing. And he goes again with a pass to Porro. And Porro, I'm not sure he knew what to do with that. Slides in and just misses it completely.
Again, Maddison, he's had a sensational first 45 minutes. Receives the ball and you think, oh, you can't get out of there. Look at that for a pass again.
Porro, no, we're seeing the replay here. He puts his hands up to the side of his face. He cannot believe how poorly he dealt with that sumptuous through ball from James Maddison. Someone delivered him a beautiful bowl of freshly made soup and he tried to eat it with a fork. 5 minutes added on at the end of this half here on Premier League Live. 1-0 to Tottenham. Maddison's goal separating the two teams. His first for Spurs. Solanke chasing the ball down here, but Romero with a back heel on the end line finds a teammate. Brilliant. And now Bissouma's in space.
And again, it's the middle of the pitch is empty for Bournemouth. They shouldn't be getting out of there.
Oh, it's down the line to Richarlison, who chipped it over Kelly, knocks it into touch. I think the referee thought about that there, because it is a dive from Richarlison, but he dives over the challenge, so I think it is a foul.
Yeah.
But you can see why that's one of those things that annoys football supporters.
Yeah,
Yellow card too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realise that a foul can be given for intent, even if you miss the player. He actually has caught him on that occasion, so I don't know why he's holding his hands up, and I don't know why the crowd are booing, because there is there's certainly intent and there's certainly contact.
Yeah, clear as day. That's a yellow card and a foul, but I suppose Richarlison puts a little bit of sauce on it, and that frustrates the fans, understandably so. Free kick right-hand side. It's about level with the penalty area and about 5 yards in from the right sideline. James Maddison is the man over the ball, which has spelt trouble for Bournemouth all game. Left arm goes up. Right footed cross comes in, cleared away. Bissouma's volley is a looper. Neto, well, I was about to say should gather it easily. He actually dropped it and picked it up on the second attempt. Goes long towards Christie. Oh, that is a sensational turn from Christie over on the far side to keep Bournemouth going. Oh, but then the ball to him from Semenya was a bit loose. Has still recovered it though, Christie, with a tenacious tackle. Fantastic from Christie there.
That was, yeah.
Here's Solanke, pickpocketed by Romero, and Spurs attack the space again down the right hand side. Solanke's got to chase Kulusevski. Kulusevski's cross was poor. Maddison was waiting for it. Bournemouth trying to counter here with Semenyo. Over the halfway line, Kulusevski can't catch him. It's all gone a bit last minute here as we enter the final 3 minutes of the first half. Christie in space. His pass towards Semenyo is just too heavy. I think he might have been looking for Kluivert, and Semenyo is lazy there, I've got to say, by the corner flag. Allows Porro to nick it. That'll be a bit out of puff.
Yeah, again, over-covering, though. Both Tottenham fullbacks. They tuck in right alongside their centre-halves.
Billings cross left-hand side, cleared away by Romero. All of a sudden it's Spurs who look a bit gassed out as we get towards the last 120 seconds of this half. Kelly forward. That's a good ball towards Billing if Billing was onside. He's not. So Porro can steal. Kluivert's pressure means all we can do is, or he can do, is knock it out for a throw, which comes in towards Billing. He goes down under Romero's challenge. I think he is gently looking for a penalty there, but knows he's never going to get it.
He's not going to get a penalty for that.
Terrific game at this moment in time here on Premier League Live. It's 1-0 to Tottenham. James Maddison's first Spurs goal. Tweet here from Chris, who says if Kane was playing it'd be 3-0 by now. Don't do it to yourself, Chris. Don't do it. At Talksport Live is where you send them in to us. Why put yourself through that torture? If my auntie had wheels, she'd be a barra. Here's Carquez, who's been really impressive, I think, in left-back for Bournemouth. Lloyd Kelly on a yellow card finds the hard-working Rothwell. And then it's right to Zabani. Aaron's over the halfway on the right. Looks to help it down the line to no one in particular. A tough game, I think, Max Aaron's. Spurs throw. Interesting to see how Spurs manage these 30 seconds. They're not really kind of hold the ball, knock it around sort of team. They're a go for the jugular at all times. Team under Postecoglou. Another foul here, by the way. Son goes down.
What's really refreshing to see, Postecoglou has given James Maddison very little defensive responsibility, and that's, in my opinion, rightfully so. You know, he's a match winner. You want him on the ball.
Spurs will give the ball straight away to Billing, and Billing will find Kluivert. Kluivert's shot breaks to Billing on the far side. Oh, he's put it wide. I thought it was flying in. Well, Tottenham Hotspur, we were just speaking about it. All you've got to do is get through 30 seconds and do nothing stupid. They give it straight to Bournemouth, who nearly equalise.
What a chance. What a chance. But look how far your left back's tucked in again. He's got to score there. It's rolled across. He's opened his body out. He's looking for the far corner. And then just don't let your technique let you down, and it has.
Half-time whistle blows. Spurs lucky to still be leading. Maddison with it on 17 minutes. Further analysis to follow. Stay with us. You're listening to Premier League Live. You are listening to Talksport's coverage of Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspur from the Vitality Stadium. I'm Tom Rennie. With me for this one, fresh from the Sun Lounger, is the former Tottenham Reading midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. It's 1-0 to Tottenham at half-time. James Maddison with his first goal for Spurs. A change here at the break for Bournemouth. Coming off is Joe Rothwell, and replacing him is long-term Bournemouth servant, the midfielder Lewis Cook. So, straight swap. I don't have any further details for you as to why that has happened. I think we can assume there is a little knock there for Joe Rothwell, who put in a all-action first-half performance. Don't necessarily think that'll be a tactical change of any sort. It's Neto in goal. It's a back four for Bournemouth of Milo Kerkez, Ilya Zabani, Lloyd Kelly, who's been booked, and Max Aaron's. Midfield now is Lewis Cook with Ryan Christie, with Antoine Semenyo, Philip Billing and Justin Kluivert supporting Dominic Solanke. Bench is Andre Radu, Chris Mepham, David Brooks, Kiefer Moore, Hamid Traore, James Hill, Marcos Onesi, Jade Anthony. For Tottenham is Guglielmo Vicario, I'll try and say that after a few drinks, Destiny Udogi, Mickey van de Ven, Christian Romero and Pedro Porro, Pape Sarr, Ibasuma in the central midfield roles, Dejan Kulusevski, James Maddison, Son Heung-min supporting Richarlison up front. Bench, Fraser Forster, Ollie Skip, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Davinson Sanchez, Emerson Royal, Ivan Perisic, Giovanni Lo Celso, Manuel Solomon, and Ben Davis. Tim Robinson, referee. Jeff Eltringham, fourth official. John Brooks is the VAR. And for our American listeners, just an FYI, Tyler Adams remains injured, and so not in the matchday squad today for Bournemouth. I know many people would like to know how the skipper is getting on. We're back underway. Kevin Watson alongside me. Bournemouth trailing, maybe shouldn't be with that late chance they had, but they've got to chase it here, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. They haven't got to chase it just yet. Tottenham had big chances in that first half to put the game out of sight. They've been really impressive. But like we said, Tom, while it's only one, Bournemouth are very, very much in this game.
Bournemouth with black and red striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. They kick from left to right as we are looking in this second period. Tottenham the other way, right to left they kick. White shirts, white shorts, white socks with white numbering, lettering and trim on the kit. Glad to say the rain of the opening 10 minutes of the first half has long since subsided. We also got a bit of sun there during the first half and at half time, so it allowed Kevin Watson to top up his tan for a few seconds. I mean, you've got a wonderful colour, I've got to say, you look so healthy. I remember this when we get in mid-December and we both look like ghosts.
Yeah, it'd be long gone by then.
We'll look like the Tottenham kit at that point. So enjoy it while you can. I went to Nottingham on my holiday, so I haven't got any. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Ball is with Cook, who's just come on in central midfield. All the way back to Neto, the captain, all in fluorescent yellow, away to our left. Chip towards the halfway line. Semenyo wins the first header. Van der Ven wins the second ball, and Udogie can bring Spurs forward. Bissouma into Maddison. That's well read by Zabarnyi. Stepping out of the back line. Didn't see much of that in the first half from Bournemouth. And now Kluivert can carry at the Spurs defence. Ball to the man overlapping him. Kirkez was undercooked, and Spurs will just about clear it away.
It's just a little bit loose with a pass there, Kluivert, wasn't he? Again, Kirkez herring up the outside of him on the overlap. He's got to take a little bit more care with a pass there, Kluivert.
Does look good, the Hungarian over at fullback, just 19 years of age, playing out in the Eredivisie last season, coming in for around about 15 million, so not nothing for Bournemouth to bring in a teenager. Looks impressive today. Bournemouth on the ball. 9 shots from Tottenham in the game, 6 from Bournemouth, just 2 on target from the Fighting Cherries, as compared to 5 from Spurs. Bit of space here for Kluivert to turn. Find a ball out left to Kirkez again. This time he finds it. Cross comes in. That's blocked by Porro. Back to Kirkez, who gets away from Kulusevski. Corner of the area, left-hand side. Kluivert to Kirkez. Wants to give it back. Left-footed cross in the end is low. Cleared away. Semenyo picks up the loose ball. Was getting physically hassled there for a moment by Pape Sarr. Doesn't go to ground. Bournemouth carry on. Christie on the right-hand side. Zabarnyi will find Christie again. Bit of space to come in from the right sideline. Approaching the offensive third. Cross is clipped towards Philip Billing, but clipped too heavily. Billing didn't show much willing, and that's out for a goal kick. You enjoy that?
I did. Better passage of play there from the Cherries. Quiet start to the second half at the moment, but that wasn't bad at all. Final pass over here. Lloyd Kelly wins the ball back well from Pape Sarr. Once again, the centre-half stepping out, which Bournemouth weren't doing in the first half. That's a foul by Sarr over on the far side. Billing is the man that goes down. Corner of the area almost. Just clumsy again from Pape Sarr, who, I mean, you saw him last week, looked terrific against Manchester United. Just having some struggles today. He is, yeah. Again, they're committing needless fouls, Tottenham, in and around their own box. And eventually, you'd like to think, if you're a Bournemouth supporter, player, manager, that one of these balls will come in with a little bit more quality than they have in the previous 49 minutes, because these are big chances. Set piece delivery coming in now.
A chance here for Lewis Cook to have an immediate impact on the game. 5 minutes gone in the second half already. It's Cook's delivery, flicked on by Maddison rather than away. It's going to be cleared away on this near side by Udogie, being held up well by Billing, who's going to rob him here, and then he shoves him in the back when he's got him on the ropes, and that's a free kick given to Tottenham Hotspur, and that's frustrating there, I'm sure, for Bournemouth fans and for Billing. Didn't need to do it, he had him.
Yeah, he did. Look, he's facing the wrong way. Keep your hands down. No need.
And now Spurs taking their time over this, which you're not supposed to do this season. Vicario trots over, all in light blue, away to our right to take it. It's a good win from Cook. Looks like handball though on the second attempt. That's not given by the referee. Maddison with lovely close control, but Aarons has robbed it off him for a moment. Throw in, won by Maddison, which he wanted to take quickly. There was no runner. Leaves it for Udogie, who comes over the halfway line. The summer signings there for Spurs combining. Udogie into Richarlison, robbed by Philip Billing, who then tried to volley it to his right, and Cook was poorly volleyed by Billing, and it's out for throw on this left-hand side. And you can hear the Spurs fans are singing about on RFX microphones. James Maddison, much like the manager Postecoglou, taken swiftly to Spurs fans' hearts. Bournemouth's forward ball here goes straight to Pedro Porro on the halfway line. Iriola, the Cherries boss, up on the edge of his technical area alongside Postecoglou, as he's not happy with what he's seeing. That's a brilliant steal there by Antoine Semenyo. And he's driving forward here. He's away from Bissouma once, then twice. Pass just overhit to Kluivert. He's going to get a free kick though, and that seems right. Bissouma had one or two goes at him. I'm not sure it contributed to the loose pass, but I think the referee's done well there, Tim Robinson.
Brilliant play, wasn't it? From Semenyo. Yeah, that's a foul. That is a foul. As you say, not contributing to the loose pass, but it's a foul, and we don't want to see imaginary cards brandished there from the Bournemouth manager either.
No, and I think he might actually get in some trouble for that if that is reported to the referee. The fourth official can now actively get involved in games, as opposed to the inexplicable bans they used to have from doing that. Bissouma was yellow carded, so he was right, Iriola, but we don't need you to tell us. Free kick, centre of the field, about 40 yards from goal. It's not really shooting distance for Christie, I would suggest. Cook is over it as well. It's a one-man wall from Tottenham and James Maddison, and it's left to Cook, and now further left to Kerkez, who's not going to get on the end of that. Great sliding challenge from Kulusevski, and Bournemouth got that all wrong, and Spurs can now counter. Porro into Richarlison, who stands on the ball and gives it straight back to Sabani, and then there's a foul by Richarlison. Just embarrassed by what just happened to him there, and that's a yellow card for Richarlison.
And that was my point earlier of why I'm not sure of his temperament. I mean, that is petulant.
Yeah, just a swipe out at Zabani, having stood on the ball, missed an open goal earlier on. I mean, when the confidence is not flowing, you can really tell, can't you, with a player.
They've been sloppy at the start of this second half, Tottenham, and they're giving Bournemouth a foothold in the game now.
Now they're driving forward again with Kluivert, who wants the ball at all times, and he finds a ball to Solanke in the penalty area. Lovely turn! Cuts it right across the 6-yard box. No one's there to turn it home. Picked up on the far side by Semenyo. His first cross is blocked. Second is a pass back to Aarons, and then Christie on the edge. Oh, he's let the ball roll across his body. And then it's won back by Tottenham Hotspur. Richarlison and Maddison here trying to get the counter going. Cross field from James Maddison. He'll find Kulusevski midway inside Bournemouth territory. Happy to keep the ball up there, Spurs, as opposed to go for the second. Here is Kulusevski on the far side. Outside of him is a simple ball to Sarr. Sarr and Porro bring the ball back away from that area. Kluivert with another little niggly foul here for Bournemouth. We get to see a replay here of that. Brilliant bit of play from Solanke. It's lovely footwork, lovely control, yeah. But that's the trouble when the striker's the one doing it.
Yeah, that was really good. And that's a tap-in for someone if you gamble.
Just couldn't get up there to meet the ball of Dominic Solanke, and that's the best Bournemouth have put together in the game. 55 minutes gone, 10 minutes of the second half. It is Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1 on Premier League Live. Ball with Porro, who brings it beautifully under control, facing his own goal on the half turn, then brings Spurs upfield. Huge gaps to exploit for Porro, then Maddison, then Richarlison, challenged by Zabani in the penalty area, and Semenyo can bring it away. Beats one, not two. Bissouma with the challenge. Semenyo has won it back into Kluivert, then to Solanke, and there's a ball right here to Christie. Space to exploit with the Spurs fullbacks way upfield. Infield now to Billing, and it's out left to Kirkes. Drops the shoulder, then infield against Kulusevski. Knocks it back to Billing. Billing's pass straight to Pape Sarr. We'll leave it for Richarlison, who carries Spurs over the halfway line. Look at the space, look at the green grass to exploit. But then Billing just walks across and wins the ball back. Didn't know what to do, Richarlison. I think these moments in the game have really affected him here. As Bournemouth chip it upfield towards Solanke, but it's loose and Vicario can slide out together. A few times today. Sorry, Kev.
Sorry, Tom. Yeah, really, really frustrating, Richarlison.
They don't really have another striker at the club.
Just looking. No, they don't.
The window remains open. How much money Tottenham Hotspur have to spend is something we might well see in the next week or so, as Kluivert drives again at the Spurs defence. He's loving that today, and that's a great strike, but it's off target. It's actually hit, I think, the roof of the net from Semenyo. First time left-footed. It's a brilliant swipe, a goal on the Ghanaian international, but it's just over the crossbar. That is a sweetly struck a ball, as you're going to see all weekend.
Wasn't it just can't get his foot around it enough, can he? Good effort, but again, it's Tottenham loose, and they're giving Bournemouth a chance when really they should be out of sight. Getting back to the forward situation, I think if he continues in this manner, Richarlison at the moment, because he has been incredibly loose with the ball, you could almost put Son up there, Tom, and perhaps Lo Celso.
It's Semenyo again winning the ball and driving forward, finds a pass in the area, Billing's cross, that's blocked by the retreating Porro. 4 in the box to aim for that time for Philip Billing, and he finds the chest of Porro, who celebrates like he scored. He might want to give some of that enthusiasm to his teammates in their holding the ball up play, because it keeps coming back and back and back at the moment. And it's now the Bournemouth supporters, you can hear in full voice, enjoying what they're seeing from their team. Will they get a goal reward for their pressing and efforts? It's a corner kick on the attacking left-hand side for Bournemouth. Near post, deflected through, volleyed away by Pape Sarr.
My money will be on Richarlison coming off here, Tom. Perisic going out on the left, Son going down the middle.
We're going to see 2 changes here, in fact, for Tottenham. It's going to be Perisic and Højbjerg coming on. You're absolutely right. Richarlison and Sarr, the 2 men being withdrawn. Pape Sarr, unlike last week, looking a touch overwhelmed by it all, and that's more the Sarr we saw a lot of last season for Tottenham. Richarlison is going to be going off here. I just wonder, keep our eye on him here, how he reacts to his number going off. And
well, it'll be bad.
Yeah.
No, it won't be a good reaction. It never is.
And I think exactly what you were describing there before it was confirmed to us. You must have your contacts down there. It's going to be Richarlison off, Son going central, and a rejig of the front line. Well, not too bad by Richarlison's standards. I think he'll probably know, won't he? He's had a poor game there.
Yeah, he has had a poor game. He's had a couple of really big chances.
Change here for Bournemouth as well, unless they're really cheering Richarlison being withdrawn. But no, it's going to be, I think, Jayden Anthony down there is about to come on. Gives a new attacking impetus to what Bournemouth can do. Confirm for you in a second. It's Kluivert who's going off. I think that's a shame for him. He has a good game, I think, Justin Kluivert.
He has. He's been dynamic. Yeah, he's had a really good game.
Yeah, and here's Jayden Anthony who comes on to replace him. So it's a straight swap. I mean, Kluivert in the Premier League for the first time, just feeling a little bit leggy. I don't know. I think I'd have kept him on, but I don't get the big bucks to make those decisions. Christie has also been withdrawn here, and Hamed Traore is on for him. Impressed by Christie at times, certainly in the first half. 60 minutes gone. changes being rung by both managers here. There's Semenyo, been outstanding for Bournemouth, presses Maddison by Spurs defensive corner flag, and the assistant referee has given a free kick for the pressing of the Ghana international. I don't know. Any sort of physical contact, you're always going to jump to ground, aren't you?
Again, for me, don't touch him. You know, he's facing the wrong way. Let him do something to get himself out of trouble, Maddison. Don't make it easy for him. And he's had 2 nibbles at him there, Semenyo. And for me, it is a foul.
Yeah. And you know the referees do want to give them, as the offensive players want to play for them. It's a good tackle by Maddison from the long blast upfield. One for a moment by Bournemouth, then Aarons, then Perisic for Spurs, then Aarons again with a walloping tackle. And it's out of play for a throw into Tottenham Hotspur on this left-hand side. Still leading by a goal to nil. Maddison with it in the first half. Udogie, lovely turn away from Semenyo. Terrific today for Bournemouth. Bissouma down the line. Perisic on the left sideline. Takes on Cook, can't get around him. Semenyo picks it up and turns. Finds Anthony, but he's been pickpocketed here. Son, good challenge in midfield there by Hamad Traore, who's just come on, but he breaks to Bissouma, and then Son, the captain, doesn't shoot, goes right to Kulusevski. Return ball is poor, aiming for Son, goes to Billing, and Bournemouth just about get away with that.
Son should shoot. I don't think he realises, because he's got his head in his boots, just how much time he had. And then Kulusevski, that is a simple ball back to Son. Just roll it across and let him shoot.
Well, it is getting to that point now where it does feel like the next goal is coming, and it's going to be vital, and it might come through this man, Maddison, edge of the area, turning, squirming away, able to find a release outright when there was no shot on for him.
He has been so good today, Tom, Maddison.
I have to agree with you. And he is the difference maker at the moment, but it's not over yet. Here's Udogie for Tottenham Hotspur by the corner flag on the offensive left. 1-2 with Son, back to him, cuts it back well! And there is the second goal that you felt was coming, and it's Dejan Kulusevski. Brilliant from Udogie on the left-hand side, just pulls it back on the end line, and he needs someone gambling, he needs someone there, and Kulusevski is that man, was that man, and it's 2-0 Tottenham.
Wonderful goal again from Spurs, just when you felt that Bournemouth were getting a little bit of a foothold in the game. It's brilliantly worked again out on this left-hand side. Udogie at the 4, lovely 1-2. Into the box. Perisic, great ball down the side for Udogie. For me, the defender has to get out and close him down a lot quicker than he does. He dances into the box, lovely little 1-2 with Son, puts it across the box, and as all wide men should do when the ball's on one side, is get yourself in on that back post, and that's exactly what he does. He drives from the back post across the front, and it's a deft little touch. It's brilliant from Udogie. Look at that. Kelly on his heels, Kulusevski nips across the front of him and glides it into the far corner. Great Tottenham goal.
Superb from the young Italian fullback. Destiny Udogie just kept it on right on the end line as well. He had to strain every sinew to get there. That's exactly what was required at that moment in time. And Kulusevski scores his first goal of the season. Just 2 all last campaign for Kulusevski. Another one who had a really tough campaign. That'll be important to him, and maybe potentially strong for him as well going into this season where he's got to do more. They've all got to do more. They're all doing the right things today, Tottenham Hotspur.
It's brilliant from him, to be fair. All too often you see wide men, when the ball comes in from one side, they're on their heels and they stay out on their own side of the pitch. But what he does, he comes in from that back post, nips across the static defenders, and it's a lovely deft finish, I have to say.
And for those that missed our information on Destiny Udogie earlier on, 20 years of age, brought in from Udinese in August, around £15 million of 2022, loaned back, then brought to Tottenham to play this season. A regular out in Serie A as Udinese finished 12th, and now at Tottenham Hotspur, who are just starting to purr here at the Vitality. 2-0 up. Here's Perisic, left hand side, cross comes in, good delivery too, trying to find Kulusevski, cleared away at the back post well by Another player who's played well for Bournemouth today, Milo Korkez.
That was a foul for me as well. Purring at the minute again, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Really impressive. Scrappy first 15 minutes at the start of the second half from them. But now they're in their stride again and looking very, very good.
Here is Udogie again. Superb from him. Perisic tries a return ball and Sabani just read that well to win it back and draws the foul from Udogie in his own penalty area as well. There's a lot of threat over on this left-hand side. Interesting as well that Perisic has gone left side of the attack, whereas Antonio Conte played him kind of either wing-back or full-back or not at all last season.
Well, he was and is. He's a wide man.
Bournemouth coming forward here. There's a Spurs player down. There's a chance here for Jadon Anthony, who chops and shoots. Not a great effort. Saved by Vicario, and now there's some aftermath for the referee because he didn't stop the play when a Spurs player had gone down injured, holding his head. Referee Tim Robinson is just saying to Spurs, we let it play out because I didn't think it was a head injury, I assume, otherwise he's got it wrong there. He took an elbow in the mush, so probably should have done.
That's a bit naughty, that, isn't it? I mean, you do jump and you put your arms up, but he looks like he's actually moved his elbow towards Van der Ven there.
Yeah, Mickey Van der Ven is up, certainly feeling the after effects of it. There's no VAR check or anything more significant than that for the swing of the arm of Dominic Solanke. One wonders if there might have been, if that was Andy Carroll, for example.
Oh, he looks like he's moved his arm towards the Tottenham defender there, in my opinion.
We're back underway. We're at 68 minutes played. It's 2-0 Tottenham Hotspur at Bournemouth. First goals of the season for Maddison and Kulusevski. One in each half. Bournemouth have certainly been game. They've been valiant. But at the moment, they're about to lose again, sending Andoni Iraola into game week 4, searching for his first win since taking over from Gary O'Neill. Here's Perisic over on the left-hand side. Near the corner flag, chops back to Son. Son finds Højbjerg, looks to help it into Maddison. Good win by Lewis Cook at the second attempt. He had to almost dive in from the ground with his head to clear it. Not particularly far though, and Solanke loses out to Bissouma, and Spurs have it in Bournemouth territory, and every Tottenham player is in the Bournemouth half, outfield player that is, and not on the halfway line as well. They're really pressing Bournemouth high, pressing Bournemouth back.
This football at the moment they're playing is brilliant. Little 1-2s around the box and intricate passing. Maddison's been at the heart of absolutely everything, and you feel that if he continues in this vein, Tom, there has to be a place for him in the England team. There has to be. I know we have an embarrassment of Richards going forward, but he's been outstanding.
And the Spurs currently marching to 3 points at the Vitality Stadium. Away form back end of last season truly atrocious under their miscellaneous managers. Something feels right at Spurs today. There's Billing trying to get Bournemouth back in the game, driving hard through midfield, but once again driving into a white-shirted player, this time Porro. Kulusevski slips forward to Maddison. Maddison away from Subani, and Maddison's in! Oh, and his shot has dragged wide. Well, he's been outstanding today, James Maddison. Scored the opening goal. And Kevin Watson, I can't quite believe he's not scored again now.
I think that's the first thing he's done wrong all afternoon. The fact that he's missed the target, for one, and for two, I think he probably should have squared it to Son.
The other end, Jadon Anthony, willing runner, tries to cross, blocked by Porro, and once again Porro does that far too exuberant celebration for just doing his job and blocking a poor cross.
I think he just loves defending, this man. He just loves defending and winning tackles and blocking things.
Cross comes in here for Bournemouth. That's a decent whipper from the far side from Traore. Trying to find Solanke. Spurs will get it away with the Doggy and Perisic, who once again combine well. Van der Ven has turned away from his man, off the ball. The Bournemouth player has gone down. It's Perisic who's adjudged to have committed an offence here. Not quite sure what sent Bournemouth player to the deck. Well, we're going to replay of it here. It was interesting. Max Aarons, who's gone down here. We're just seeing a replay of it. He takes a little shove in the head, doesn't he, from Perisic? Yeah. Is that not violent conduct?
Could be. I think. No, I don't know. What's he given? He's given a free kick.
He has given the free kick and a yellow card for Perisic. But I think he's got a bit lucky there, to be honest, the veteran. You can't swing your arms up into someone's face. And it's a free kick off the ball. And in fact, that is being checked for a possible red card right now by the video assistant referee. And I think it might be. I think he's sort of pushed his hand right into Aaron's face. Now, look.
He's got his shirt, hasn't he? He's got his shirt and then pushes him off. But you're right.
If this was not in kind of match play and was afterwards, I think that might be a red for raising your hands. The check's ongoing, and in fact is now complete. No red card. But I bet that was hotly contested in the VAR room. It is complete. It is just a yellow, and it's a free kick to Bournemouth over on the right hand side from nothing, really. Some idiocy from Perisic. Cook is over it, right side line, deep delivery towards Billing, who brings it down in the penalty area. Another looping ball to the back post, and there's no Bournemouth player attacking it. Good play by Van der Ven, who gets there before Semenyo, and then Højbjerg can clear it upfield. Looked like a clear plan to go left and right, but no one's gone right for Bournemouth there. That was very poor, I thought.
Again, too many touches from Bissouma. Doesn't need all those touches.
Semenyo could be in. That's a scissoring challenge from Højbjerg to win it back, and then Semenyo is adjudged to have pushed the Dane in the back. I'm not too sure about that from the referee either, and neither of the Bournemouth fans, who are just getting on Tim Robinson's back a bit here. A few calls they feel not going their way. Another change coming up here for the Fighting Cherries. David Brooks, who's going to be entering the fray. He'll be replacing Semenyo. They're taking their two best players off here, Bournemouth.
Yep, totally agree with you.
It doesn't make sense. Semenyo has been the best player on the field in black and red today. And looked pretty vibrant too. It doesn't look like he's tiring. So that's odd to me. Change here for Spurs. James Maddison, speaking of best players on the field, he's also going to be taken off here for Oliver Skipp, which shows you where Ange Postecoglou's mind is at this moment in time.
I mean, who am I to tell Postecoglou what to do? But
you're the analyst we're paying to do so.
Yeah,
that was wrong, wasn't it?
I'm not sure that's a good decision. And Bissouma.
Well, Bissouma, I think there's a conversation to be had about him. You picked it out all game. He keeps overrunning the ball,
he's having too many touches. But the Maddison one, all of a sudden Bournemouth get a goal, which isn't beyond the realms of possibility. And then we're in for an exciting last 15-20 minutes, whatever it is. So not sure, unless he doesn't look like
it was a doubt coming into the game. Maybe there's something we don't know. It has to be, right? I mean, it has to be. I agree with you. It's odd. But Semenyo, I actually am struggling to comprehend what Andoni Iraola is doing there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to David Brooks, who I think is a talent, but I mean, he's been lightning today. He's been brilliant all over the field, Semenyo, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, he has been very good.
Still look pretty fresh as well. Anyway, we'll see if that pays dividends for Andoni Iraola, the manager who took Rayo Vallecano to the dizzy heights of 11th last season in La Liga. We're back underway. We're at 75 minutes. It's 2-0 to Tottenham. And the rain has started again. Interesting to see Giovanni Lo Celso back with Tottenham. He was out of Villarreal on loan all season. Actually scored against Iriola's Vallecano in a victory for Rayo that day by 2-1. First time he's played for Tottenham since January 2022. Giovanni Lo Celso, obviously liked by Postecoglou, getting another chance. It's quite interesting. Here with Oliver Skipp back in central midfield after his brief sojourn as attacking winger in that friendly against Barcelona. That's thunder you can hear, by the way, at the Vitality Stadium. The rain is absolutely chucking it down. like an English summer barbecue out there as Spurs try and knock the ball around the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. Good reading of the game. Not for the first time today by Kirkez. Bournemouth look to bring the ball away with Billing, who's been all over the field today, but hasn't quite had those penalty area impacts he was becoming so known for back end of last season. Here's a chance for Solanke. Slipped in here. Van der Ven goes to ground. Breaks back to Brooks, who carries it right to left, edge of the area. Here's Anthony now. Anthony, overlapping run being made. Cross comes in. It's a chipper. It's a bit too loose, and it's cleared away. Brooks just didn't get it underneath it as he would have hoped, and Spurs scramble it away.
It's final ball again, Tom. That's all it is for Bournemouth.
Here is Zabani for Bournemouth, hoping to avoid going 3 games under their new manager without victory. Brooks with the pass back to Zabani. Spurs are sitting right off now, which helped Bournemouth when West Ham did it, but of course they had a 1-goal lead to Hammers that day, which ended up being a draw. Spurs 2 up. In the penalty area now on the far side, Kirkez tries to slip the ball back to Hamid Traore, and it's cleared away by Tottenham. Bournemouth is losing a lot of their offensive fluidity, and on the break here there's a chance to slip in Son. Will get there before Zabani, who goes to ground, but Son keeps it in this pouring rain on the south coast, which you can hear, I'm sure, through your speakers as the ball breaks to Kulusevski. Then back to Son, tries to slip it in towards Højbjerg. Cleared away, but not particularly far, as it's picked up by Lo Celso and Skip. Now a doggy on this left-hand side will combine with Lo Celso to put Spurs back in possession. Here is Giovanni Lo Celso. Leaves it for Perisic. And Højbjerg. The subs have certainly added a real solidity here to Tottenham Hotspur, haven't they? There we go with Lo Celso, edge of the area. Challenged by Billing. Neto just prevents the corner kick for Bournemouth, who are really flagging now as they trail by 2-0. And Neto slipped over as he tries the goal kick. And there's a foul by Porro on Anthony on the halfway line. Conditions not their best right now for this final 12 minutes or so.
It is horrendous here at the moment. Rain teeming down.
I'm just hoping our effects microphones will be able to survive the next 12 minutes or so, not 9 minutes. The ball is now over on the right-hand side. Just wonder in these conditions whether Kiefer Moore on the subs bench might be someone that Bournemouth might look at. Scored, of course, a couple of goals in that 3-2 loss here against Tottenham last season, as Cherries were 2-0 up at one point. But at the moment, whatever they're trying to do, Bournemouth has not seen them get through on Vicario a great deal in this game. They're just 2 shots on target, 8 across the piece, 2-0 down. It's gone from potential end-to-end affair, Kevin Watson, as Bournemouth aimlessly punt it to no one again, to a cruise of a victory for Tottenham Hotspur.
I think soon as
Doggy's got an issue here, sorry, Kev, he's gone down off the ball. Carry on.
As soon as Spurs got that second goal, it really knocked the stuffing out of Bournemouth. Up till then, Tottenham hadn't been the brightest at the start of the second half. I thought they were scrappy and sloppy for the first 14-15 minutes, and then they got the goal, and from then on it's been quite comfortable.
I don't know what's happened here to Destiny Udogie. I think he might need to come off here for Ben Davies. He passed the ball back to Vicario and then just sort of collapsed in the heap. He's alright, he's moving about in that sense, but I'm not sure whether his contact lens has come out in the rain or whether he's felt a muscle injury in his leg, or there's a knee issue here. What I do know is, I wonder if the players might just ask for a bunch of umbrellas to get brought on for a couple of minutes. I mean, this is, as described in the great movie Forrest Gump, big old fat rain.
It's like a monsoon, isn't it?
This is big old fat rain right now, pouring down on the south coast. And by the way, it's August in England. This is summertime for us.
On the south coast.
Do you regret the old pink shorts now?
Yeah, well,
in these conditions?
Yeah.
It does give us a quick moment just to remind you of a few things, bit of housekeeping. We are going to be with you for the rest of the day here on Premier League Live, your home of the Premier League on the radio. with our broadcast partners around the world. It's Russell Hargreaves and Rufus Brevett up next for Arsenal against Fulham, and that's followed later by West Ham's annual thrashing at the hands of Brighton. Brighton against the Hammers with John Anderson and David Connolly, 5:30 UK time. That one gets underway. 3 games for our online and digital partners. Brentford Crystal Palace with Matt Drabble. Manchester United against Nottingham Forest with Ben Jacobs, and Andrew Self brings you Everton against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Goals as they go in during our feature match commentary of Arsenal against Fulham. Tomorrow our 2 feature games are Sheffield United, Manchester City, and Newcastle United, who are up against Liverpool. Tim Long, Dave Kitson, followed by Kevin Hatchard and Chris Perry. Ryan Bromelo will bring you Burnley against Aston Villa. And to look back on all of the things that happened this weekend, don't forget to subscribe to the Talksport daily podcasts. A new episode available.
We are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Arsenal against Fulham from Emirates Stadium. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves. Alongside me is the former Fulham fullback Rufus Brevett, and this is Premier League Live. Rufus has gone for a quick wander to make the most of the excellent pre-match hospitality here in North London. And while he does that, I'm delighted to say that the man who's just commentated for us down at the Vitality on Bournemouth 0, Tottenham 2, our opening commentary of the day, the one and only Tom Rennie joins us from down there in Dorset. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing very well. It's weird to speak to you at this time of day, I've got to say. Usually I'll be doing the late game, but thankfully I've not been forced to watch West Ham's annual thrashing by Brighton this year in the late game. Now, our good friend John Anderson takes that responsibility today.
Brighton obviously absolutely bang in form, top of the early table on goal difference at the moment. Can Arsenal overtake them in our game later? We will wait and see. Let's discuss what you've just been commentating on, and Spurs again under Ange Postecoglou. Another win. Are they starting to find something, do you feel, in the post-Harry Kane era?
Russ, I thought they were terrific. Absolutely terrific. From almost the first minute through to the last minute, they were dominant in the game and probably could have won it by 3 or 4 in the end. Some late chances. Perisic most notably probably could have flown in. Ben Davies as well. I mean, James Maddison, Russ. I mean, you know, our listeners will know how much I love James Maddison. He's such a sublime footballer. His ball control, his reading of the game, his variety in what he can do. Sensational for Tottenham, and in the first half he scores his first Tottenham goal. He's the best player on the field. Withdrawn late on, a bit of an injury this week, so when it was all said and done, Postecoglou brought on Ollie Skip to see it through, but just looks like he is going to have a massive impact for Tottenham Hotspur. Brought some really good stuff out of Son and Kulusevski and the runners. Udogie at left back as well was fantastic on the day, and there's something special happening there. What I love about it, and I keep mentioning this, I think it's really interesting. I know we have Spurs fans listening. My brother-in-law's a big Tottenham fan. We go for dinner a lot, we chat a lot, and he has been miserable. He has been so depressed, so miserable, not just because of how much he hates spending time with me and his wife and his 4
exactly
kids,
because you're the brother-in-law, yeah.
But also because he spends 19 Saturdays a year going to Tottenham Hotspur games. And he has had to suffer through Mourinho and Conte and whoever that Stellini bloke was. And he just said, I want to be entertained, I want to enjoy my Saturday and my Sunday or whatever, and you're going to enjoy that. Postecoglou wants to win, he wants to win in style. That is what being Spursy should be. Getting out there and forgetting about whether we win or lose. Let's enjoy it. And aren't they just enjoying it?
Really, really interesting. Alright, so kicking on from here, what do you think is a realistic goal for Tottenham over the rest of this campaign to come? Because they've got no European football either, have they? And Arsenal used that themselves a couple of years ago in their reboot very effectively.
Yeah.
Could you see that similar thing happening?
Look, what I would do if I was Tottenham is set no target. I would set no target. I would do whatever I could to not talk about trophies or top 6 or Champions League or whatever, because we don't know what this is in the long term. Right now, enjoy the moment, be happy. I think Tottenham Hotspur are a top 6 side. I think they've got a very good manager, and I think in this league of offensive-minded teams, I think with Maddison in it, he will make a huge difference to you in end-to-end games. So I wouldn't put targets on it. I would just try and enjoy it. I would just try and enjoy what at the moment feels like a lovely summer fling, and maybe see if it can turn into something more serious down the road.
It's a lovely analogy. Will there be a St Totteringham's Day here at Emirates Stadium this year, or could Tottenham finish back above Arsenal as they started to do relatively consistently for a little while before it all flipped again? The North London dynamic is ever compelling. Just while you're with us, Tom, quick word then on Bournemouth. We know all about the changes. Of course, we covered them in the 3 p.m. slot a week or so ago, where they did okay, but you need to start getting results, don't you? Particularly early on, before the pressure really mounts.
You see, I am a bit biased on this because, as you'll know, Gary O'Neill's our friend from Premier League Live before getting into management, and he kept up a Bournemouth squad last year who had no business being in the Premier League, and he kept them up pretty easily with a victory over Tottenham, of course, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Tony Iriola, I'm sure, is beloved by people who listen to niche podcasts on football. I love that sort of stuff. Like, I'm listening to a podcast on Spanish football, and they've got people who really know their stuff. He took Rayo Vallecano to 11th. Who cares, right? Who cares? Oh, he likes to press high. Well, don't we all? Like, there's nothing about Iriola to write home about. I don't see how he's got the job. I don't see anything other than a relegation battle for Bournemouth all season long. And look, Tyler Adams and Alex Scott, both injured. If they come in, they might be better than the players they've got there. But today, Antoine Semenyo was the best player on the field for Bournemouth, the Ghanaian winger. The other really good player, I thought, was Justin Kluivert. He took them both off, chasing a 1-0 and then 2-0 deficit, and he sort of muddled everything up. And then the last 5 minutes, he's like, I'll bring on Kiefer Moore. And you're like, what is this?
He really struggled off the bench in the game we covered a few weeks ago.
Because this team is not built for Kiefer Moore knockdowns.
Absolutely.
There's clubs for Kiefer Moore. There's ways of playing him. I don't think it's this, and I don't think it's that.
Tom Rennie, thank you very much indeed. Looking back at Bournemouth's 2-0 defeat at the hands of Spurs.